Hey guys, it's your boy Kenny Boulder with another Warhammer 40K book review, and today we are reviewing a Warhammer 40K Horus Heresy novel, Eidolon, the Auric Hammer. So this is a novel that came out last year, and we have a chance to review it just because I love recording and making Warhammer 40K reviews of anything about Warhammer 40K. So I read this whole book recently, and we're going to go over the details, the plot, if it's worth it, and just overall general vibes about this particular Warhammer 40k novel. So obviously, Lord Commander Primus Lord is one of the most peak Emperor's Children characters out there. So naturally, we decide that we're gonna get a novel for him. I think this novel is pretty excellent. It's between a couple of Horus Heresy novels, and for the most part, it's pretty good. I would give this overall a decent review if you're Emperor's Children fan, which I think a lot of folks are. So overall, we'll go over with some reviews, spoilers, and so on. So I got this at Amazon for about $20. So you're gonna go to Amazon here. The premise is Lord Commander Eidolon is haunted. Aboard his ship, demonic manifestations abound and threaten to tear it apart. Yet, even as he vanquishes it, he feels the pull to a world he once knew, and a reunion with a part of him thought lost. Lord Commander Primus Eidolon has claimed many titles along the annals of his infamy. He is the exemplar and the risen, the soul servant, the Auric Hammer. Now fallen far from his primary grace, he carves a path to Terra, where the culmination of Horus's grand heresy awaits. But coaxed and goaded by the wiles of the warp, an entity whose whispered truth stretched even his credulity, he finds himself stranded around the world of Tetakala, where the ghosts of his past haunt every faded step. And now he must make a choice between life he wants to lead and how much of his soul he's willing to sacrifice for it. For if Eidolon cannot banish his demons, they surely will take down on his own. So this novel, this story is, before the Siege of Terra. It's after various events. I think the last time we saw Eidolon is in one of the Fabius Bialum books, where he's leader of the Phoenix Conclave, and basically this is his own story where we get to see him, his own, his actions. So it came out October 2022, 2024. It's about 204 pages. Again, you can get it for about $20, $17.65, and it's decent. Like I said, Mark Collins overall, I think we can say that I think the reviews of 4.4 kind of speaks volumes about this book. It's a good book if you're a Emperor's Children fan. You see a lot of their debauchery and the degeneracy and all that fun stuff. And honestly, it does have a lot of bolter shenanigans, I would say. 80% of the book is just them killing demons or other people. So, and killing each other, actually, at some points. So, with that, I want to give a warning. I am going to go into spoilers now. So this is the spoilers section. So if you want to check out this book, get this book here, buy it, read it, you know what to do. Now I'm going to go into spoilers. So the novel itself is that they are in the transit to Terra. So friends and company are currently in transit. They're about to enter the warp. They're getting ready for the siege. Literally, it's moments before the siege. And suddenly, demonic forces appear in the ship, and this is when Eidolon gathers his warriors. They're the third millennial. The third millennial is his force. He apparently controls about a third of the Emperor's Children's Legion, and they decide to fight their way across their ship because there's a Geller field malfunction. The ship is apparently having a lot of demonic infestations, and they fight a being called the Shattered King. So they fight through the whole Shattered King, and we're introduced with various characters. Eidolon's own, there's a swordsman, a Palpatine blade. He's, perfect swordsman. Not the best swordsman, because he says, he's humble. He's oh yeah, I'm not the best, because Lucius is the best swordsman in the Emperor's Children Legion. There's a noise marine. There's a apothecary. And then there is it's a raptor, assault marine. He's actually just crazy, I guess. And our introduces, our characters were introduced on the ship. Additionally, we get some, like most of the story is on Eidolon's like own perspective. So you get a lot of his thoughts, and he's kind of whiny throughout most of the novel. I felt like he just kept complaining about how much he had to struggle, and it sucks being him, but he's very proud of his rank, and he just keeps mentioning that. He's like, I am the Lord Commander. I am the Primus Lord Commander, and often it feels like he's just like he acts like an emperor, like Emperor Children. It's arrogant. It's very petty. I'm not surprised. And so they defeat the Shattered King. The Shattered King takes the form of a legionary, and it becomes like, it summons a bunch of demon knights. They fight the demon knights on the ship. All is good. And then suddenly the ship is entering, and it exits the warp and lands in a system called the, and you can't really click it right now, but it's called Tachikala. So that's the world that they land in. And this world, it's currently still an Imperial world. There's no Imperial ships or anything. And in the system, they meet a bunch of Sons of Horus folks. So there's a couple of Sons of Horus ships there as well. And they're like, hey, while we're on the way to Terra, let's go pillage and burn and raid this planet. And, we gotta do it, man. Gotta raid and pillage. So the gang agrees to temporary truce before they start killing each other. They're going to go down on the planet, take it over. And it's revealed why this planet is so important is because on this planet of Tachikala, Fulgrim, the Primarch of the Emperor's Children, that's when apparently he gives and bestows Lord Commander's rank to Eidolon. And that's huge because that means that this world is like, it was, made complicit by the Emperor's Children, and it has a special fanfare for Eidolon. Like, that's where he started his, deep roots. And we're actually revealed a couple of cool things. First off, Eidolon is, he was one of the first Space Marines for the Emperor's Children. So he is from Europa, which is Europe, I guess. And apparently when he was growing up, he was taken away and forced to serve and, inducted into the Emperor's Space Marines in the 3rd Legion with the Emperor's Children. So he's basically a Terran-born Marine. So I didn't know about him until this book. So I thought that was interesting. And then they meet some Swords of Horus guys. I don't think they're named at all. It's like, I think his rank is like Praetorian or something like that, which is, I think, is Captain. So Captain, Sons of Horus guy, Eidolon agrees we're going to take over and, completely overrun the planet. And so that's what they do. The Emperor's Children and the Sons of Horus, they invade the planet, and it's an easy fight. They take it over within like a day, I think. I think the only other point of character POV is some poor Imperial Army guardsmen who are stationed on the planet. They're just ruthlessly slaughtered. And as this is happening, Emperor's Children, they begin to do horrible stuff. And eventually, Eidolon goes into the command center on the planet, and he sees the Sons of Horus. And throughout this whole time, he's having a lot of these whispers in his head, and you're thinking that, oh, he's just there's a piece of a demon in him, or maybe there's whispers are trying to draw him in. He thinks it's the Sons of Horus trying to play tricks on him. So he says something in his head, says it out loud in accident, and the Sons of Horus members are like, yeah, we knew you were going to betray us. And so they start killing each other. So after not even 10 minutes after taking over the planet, they start killing each other. The Sons of Horus versus the Emperor's Children. Emperor's Children outnumber the Sons of Horus. It's a pretty much a one-sided fight. We get some action with all the other, again, named Emperor's Children characters. The Bladesman is cutting through guys. The Noise Marine is doing the noise thing. And the other Emperor's Children who's just crazy. He's he has claws. He says, you hear the voices. Come on, let's do it, guys. And at one point, Eidolon escapes. He barely, survives fighting 10 versus 1. He has a lot of plot armor. And so he survives and escapes. And he joins up with the other Emperor's Children. And he starts beating the crap out of the crazy Emperor's Children, saying, why'd you do this? Why'd you start this attack? And the crazy Space Marine's like, hey, I was just following orders. And they begin to realize that something's wrong with the planet. And in a sense, all the debauchery, all the Emperor's children, like, we go into graphic detail of them, like, hanging bodies and stuff. It's pretty brutal. And the world becomes, like, engulfed in the warp. And the warp begins to take over the whole planet. So it becomes more like, oh, demonites, demons are getting everywhere. And now they're fighting demons versus Space Marines. And even the ships and around the system are fighting each other. They're shooting each other. At one point, a ship is blown up in half, and half of the ship is, literally falling down to the planet. So that was a cool scene. And Eidolon's like, yeah, let's just go fight this demon. The demon is here. So the Shadow King is revealed. It is actually piece of the soul of Eidolon. Eidolon is known as the Soul Severed. So basically he is his own enemy at this point, and we are convinced that he's called the Soul Severed. So the moment he lost his head by Fulgrim in Fulgrim, the book, and getting his head reattached, apparently in his death, a piece of him went to the warp. That piece of the warp became, manifested with a bunch of demons, and now suddenly he is fighting against himself. So his spiritual form is in another plane, and he's fighting himself. He's going over like, hey, I'm not going to bend myself to demons. You can't, you are me, but I am you, and therefore I'm in charge. So he's having inner turmoil. As this is happening, all the other Emperor's children are fighting demons, and they start fighting each other because naturally that's just part of the song, part of the thing. One thing I should know at this time, all the Emperor's children are on the planet, and they're just fighting their way out here. So they're fighting their way out here, and it's pretty graphic at this point. We're like talking about like people is losing their eyeballs and losing their limbs, and like people are, the debauchery is peak Emperor's children. Like, it is no longer organized. It's just like, hey, we're just killing each other because we're killing each other. So that's basically the graphic detail of most of the book at this point. Eventually, Eidolon kind of like, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to beat myself. So he kind of just like pulls out his hammer and starts beating the crap out of his own soul / demon-infested persona. And he wins, I guess. So he wins the fight, and gradually he comes back, and he shows up, and he's like, hey, everyone, I am your Lord Commander. I am, with your hammer. So he basically comes back, is like, everyone, listen, we're going to go to Terra, we're going to take names, we're in charge of our own destiny, and we're not going to be sitting by and waiting here. We've done our job. We've made our offerings to the gods, and it's clear that he's kind of absorbed with more power. He kind of takes this demon-infested soul and takes it back, and now he's like more stronger than ever. And lo and behold, the Primarch of the 3rd Legion, Fulgrim, shows up. Fulgrim shows up in his form, and he's described as beautiful, the most beautiful Space Marine out there, and he's not in his serpent form yet. And he's like, you passed the test. You've passed the test. So it feels like it's like Megatron and Starscream, if you watch Transformers. Like, they just hate each other at this point. Eidolon's like, hey, this wasn't cool. If this is your trick, like, I am my own master. And I thought that was kind of like interesting, because in most novels, Eidolon is like the biggest Fulgrim fanboy. But in this book, in his book here, he's more or so less like, I hate you. You've turned me into a monster. You cut my own head off. Like, how dare you? And I actually kind of like that. I would be pissed off if someone cut off my head and I literally had to drag my soul back from hell. So Eidolon is pissed off, and Fulgrim's like, hey, why you disrespect me, man? Like, I'm here trying to get you more power, to be more perfect. And he becomes his serpent form. So, becomes like a snake, has 4 arms, and just like starts beating the crap out of Eidolon. And at this time, all the Emperor's children are just like, they're just there. They're like watching, seeing what happens. And eventually, Fulgrim is like, hey, like, do you like accept my forgiveness? Do you love me? And Eidolon kind of like bashes his own father. He's like saying, nah, like you have become the creature that is what we destroyed, and eventually they kind of make peace at one point. So they make peace and they agree that we have bigger fish to fry. So, like I said, Megatron, Starscream situation, it's kind of funny at one point. Fulgrim is just like totally arrogant, totally much of a pompous little clown. And they agree that they have to move on and go to Terra to take over and usurp the Emperor. And Eidolon like pledges himself. He actually pledges himself to Slaanesh, and that's how he gains all of his powers, is with the blessing of the Primarch, Slaanesh, the god of the goddess god, the warp chaos god of excess, perfection. And the gang is like, yeah, we're gonna go on into Terra and conquer Terra and do more debauchery things and get more slaves and etc. So that really ends the novel. And like I said, overall, I did enjoy it. I think a 4.1, 4.2 out of 5 is pretty good. It's only 200 pages. I will say it feels like a novella that became a novel. I feel like a lot of the plot points could have been like done within a second. We didn't have to have the Sons of Horus. We didn't have to have them kill each other and fight. We could just go in the world, fight demons, become a demon bless, whatever you want to call it. He's not a demon prince. He's just like demon bless. And I think that's important to like recognize, is that this is a small novel. It's only 200 pages. So I really enjoyed this book because, again, you see more Emperor's Children. You see a lot of inner monologue, which I enjoy. And it's always fun to see evil Space Marine, Chaos Space Marines' perspectives of things, because we really get to see that. So overall, I enjoyed this novel. I hope you enjoyed this video as well. I highly recommend reading this if you like reading Fulgrim, because you get more stuff from it. And honestly, yeah, Emperor's Children. There's a bunch of like drug-addicted, crazy guys trying to get the next high. So yeah, that's it. If you like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel, if you enjoyed this. And if you didn't like this video, let me know as well. So I appreciate your time, guys. So again, it's your boy Kenny Boulder. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.